Howdy, howdy. How y'all do? One moment. Yeah. Won't let me pull up any of these other windows. I'm trying to pull up a window to share. Give me 1 second. Okay. We're going to pull up the greatest hoax. Yeah, we're going to share that. Bam. Okay, let me go to that real quick. Just a little bit bigger. Alrighty. Give me 1 second, y'all, while I settle in all the way. And how do y'all doing? There we are. So I want to pick up right here, right in the middle of everything. This is all about really a question that Sister Adrian Smith asked me, going on 2 weeks ago. Might even be a little over that, but roughly 2 weeks ago, she asked me about the Seal of Solomon, the Rings of Solomon, or the Keys of Solomon. It depends on who you're talking to, and depends on how it's used in reference. I'm going to show you guys the seal of a ring, the seal of Solomon's ring, and then I'm going to show you the key of Solomon. But first, I want to read something to you that's going to kind of give credence to why I always really not just badmouth the man, but I don't respect Solomon the way everyone else does. That's for several reasons, but to keep it simple, we'll just say that his actions led to one Jeroboam being able to take over the entire kingdom, or at least 10 tribes being under his helm. Now we're going to go down and we're going to read this part right here. We'll talk about the Tetragrammaton. Okay. And it says, what was Cyrus Schofield trying to hide from us? And you guys know I did a video a long time ago. I couldn't think about how long, but it's about this. It's about Cyrus Schofield and how he was really a con man. But anyway, the source of Shem Hamafaresh, according to tradition, are verses 19 through 21 of Exodus. Is that 14? Each of the 3 verses contain 72 Hebrew letters. The letters of verse 19 are written down in separated form and in correct order. The letters of verse 20 also are in separated form, written down in reverse order. And the letters of verse 21 written down in correct order. Reading down from above, one obtained 72 3-letter names, all of which combine to make one. To these 3-letter names were all added either AL or IH to form names of the 72 angels of Jacob's ladder. And that's their Kabbalah talk right now. One moment, we're going to keep going. The type of permutation described above is called Termua, and it is a common Kabbalist device. The 3 verses of Exodus 14, 19 through 21 that constitute the Shem Hamafaresh happen to describe how a pillar of cloud by day and a fire by night appeared just prior to Moses' leading the Hapiru, or the Hebrew, or the children of Israel, across the Red Sea in the desert, into the desert. This is a cipher, so that wherever a pillar of fire by day, or a pillar of fire by night or cloud by day is mentioned in the Bible, one may substitute the Shem Hamafaresh to obtain the proper Kabbalistic interpretation. So understand these Kabbalah readers, I'm going to break into this real quick. These Kabbalah readers, when they see that pillar, this is what they do. They automatically think of something else. They're automatically associating another idea to something that you're reading. The Kabbalists know that the Shem HaMephorash, the 72 syllable name of God, the 72 angels of Jacob's ladder, the 72 Sanhedrin, are also 72, listen, are also the 72 proper names of daemons, which are demons, who are sealed in the key of Solomon. This key is used by the practical Kabbalist to construct talismans by which he may summon or conjure these beings. To the speculative Kabbalist, the name represents the 72 dominus, principalities, elementals, powers, and paths over which he seeks mastery. Now we're going to leave this right here alone, because I'll come back to it later if I need it. But we're going to go to another page real quick. 1 second. And let me check on y'all. See how y'all doing. Hello, everyone. I'm just getting started. Back to myself. But hopefully this is fun for all of us. You know, like it normally is. Google acting funny, so I'm giving everything a second to load itself up and to get proper. What up, Martin? How you doing, Tammy? It wasn't showing for a second, so I had to wait. But however, let's get back to the topic at hand. Mr. Solomon and his ways. Now, what's funny about Solomon in particular, the struggle that he endures. Here we go. 1 second. And that bit. There we go. Okay, so two things. Number one, ignore this stuff. Ignore all this. The reason why I'm going to this, to speak on Joab real quickly, is a lot of the wickedness that Solomon committed and performed. These were things that were done in the presence of men, or while men like Joab were still a force to be reckoned with and still had influence. So it's not like none of the old guard of his father were still around, because Ader the Idumean, and I'm going to read the verse to you here in a moment. I confused Ader and Jeroboam a couple weeks ago, maybe even last week, where I said that Jeroboam waited for Joab to die. But really what it is Jeroboam waited for Solomon and Ader waited for Joab to die. Now, the reason why this is so important, let me read it to you. We're in the book of the Kings, and this would be the 3rd Kings in the Septuagint. This would be the 1st Kings in the King James Version Bible. And this is chapter 9, verse 21. And no, I'm going to start at verse 14 so that way everything makes sense. Here we go. And the Lord raised up an enemy to Solomon, Ader the Idumean, and Ishram, son of Eliadai, who dwelt in Ramah, and Adadezer, king of Suba, his master. And men gathered to him, and he was the head of the conspiracy, and he seized on Damasek. And there were adversaries to and they were adversaries to Israel all the days of Solomon. And Ader the Idumean was the seed royal in Idumea. And it happened that while David was utterly destroying Edom, while Joab, captain of the host, was going to bury the dead, when they slew every male in Idumea, for Joab and all Israel abode there 6 months in Idumea, until he utterly destroyed every male in Idumea, that Ader ran away, he and all the Idumeans of the servants of his father with him, and they went into Egypt. And Ader then was a little child. And there rose up men out of the city of Madiam, and they came to Paran, and take men with them, and come to Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Ader went to Pharaoh. So let me read that to you again, so that way it all makes sense. And there rise up men out of the city of Medium, and they come to Paran, and they take men with them, and come to Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Ader went into Pharaoh. So that right there was explaining the sequence of events that had took place between when Ader had ran away and to when he had got into Egypt. I just had to just give a preface to that. Here we go. And Ader found great favor in the sight of Pharaoh. Remember, the Lord is raising this dude up to be an enemy to Solomon. 1 second. 1 second. And Ader found great favor in the sight of Pharaoh, and he gave him his wife's sister in marriage, the eldest sister of Tichomina. And the sister of Tichomina bore to him, even to Ader, Genbath, her son. And Tichomina brought him up in the midst of the sons of Pharaoh. And Genbath was in the midst of the sons of Pharaoh. And Ader, this is verse 21, and Ader heard in Egypt that David slept with his fathers, and that Joab, the captain of the host, was dead. And Ader said to Pharaoh, let me go, and I will return to my country. And Pharaoh said to Ader, what lackest thou with me, that lo, thou seekest to depart to thy country? And Ader said to him, by all means, let me go. So Ader returned to his country. This is the mischief which Ader did, and he was a bitter enemy of Israel, and he reigned in the land of Edom. Now, why this is so important is because the same guy named Jeroboam, one moment, who's not gonna, he doesn't really get spoke on too much during this right here. But we're gonna jump into Joab, and we're gonna go right here. And I don't know exactly what part of the scripture this is when he's talking to Joab about when he killed Abner. But when Joab died, it allowed for a mortal enemy of who is said King Solomon to go into full effect of his plan. Now understand, you just heard the name of one woman is Tichomina. The Pharaoh's wife's sister is married to Ader. Now we're going to skip forward, okay? Now I'm going to read about this guy named Jeroboam. 1 second. And one moment. When I'm going to read when Jeroboam is in Egypt just real quick when he gets married. So we're in the same 3rd King chapter. Is it going to be 16 again, possibly? Let me just see. All right, so Let me see. No, I'd have to keep going a little further into it. But but um I'm not going to get carried away with this guy Jeroboam because he's not as important as the seals that I'm trying to talk about. King Solomon brought on his own destruction. One second, and he made it to where when he died, there was a power vacuum because King Solomon actually never did what he was supposed to in the sight of anyone. Right? The people didn't know what to do, and people laugh about this, and people think that's not a big deal. But it's like when your leader dies. There we go. Here we go. Solomon, master of demons. I just wanted to give preface to you guys understanding that this dude Solomon was not a good dude. Not a good dude. You're not a master of anything, right on? You're not a master of demons, of nothing. Here we go. Never has there lived a man privileged like Solomon to make demons amenable to his will. God endowed him with the ability to turn vicious powers of demons into a power working to the advantage of men. I'm gonna not even keep reading this shit because nowhere in the scripture do you read anything like that. All this is the shit that he was doing. Let me go back and read it to you. So that way you don't think I'm trying to game you up. Verse, I want to say 1. 1 second, y'all. One moment. Doing a live stream. So, here we are. Verse 1 of chapter, is that what? This is weird. This is weird, y'all. Chapter 11. So look, something really weird here. If you read in the Septuagint, if you have one at home, you can look this up. If you go to chapter 11, what's supposed to be the very beginning, it starts at what looks at like verse whatever, because it says, and King Solomon was a lover of women, and he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines. Now stop right there, because then it goes right, because that's verse, it has verse 3 where it picks up how many wives he had and concubines, right? But the part where it says that he was a lover of women is not numbered or anything like that. Then it says verse 1, and he took strange women, as well as the daughter of Pharaoh, Egyptian, Moabitish, that's 2, Ammonitish, that's 3, Syrians, that's 4, Idumeans, that's 5, Kittites, that's 6, Amorites, that's 7. 7 nations that the Israelites weren't supposed to be with. Verse 4, and it came to pass in the time of old age of Solomon, that his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father. And the strange women turned away his heart after their gods. Listen, what are the chances, any of that shit, that this guy was able to so-called control demons by constructing things that he did by seeking knowledge from other so-called deities? It's just something for y'all to think about. And then another thing for you to think about while I move down a little bit so you can continue to read this is that don't you just think it's just a little awkward that never, not once, do you read about Solomon controlling demons ever in the scripture, but yet people talk about it all the time? Think about that. Think about it. It's talking about Beelzebub right now, y'all. Come on, man. This shit is crazy, y'all. This is crazy, y'all. I'm gonna leave this link in the joint. I'm gonna take it right now. Copy. They won't let me throw it in there. What up, Andre? It's just it's crazy. So back to the story of Solomon, young Solomon, who ain't got no kind of scruples or nothing. Anyhow, so we have to realize that these seals of Solomon, and here goes pictures. Give me one moment. Get you guys some. I'm gonna show you guys the keys of Solomon first. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's about. Is seeing this stuff too. One moment. Bam. Bam. Okay. See if I can't make this stuff just a little bit bigger. There we go. There we go. So look, and these are the kind of pictures that I will have throughout, in the videos from time to time. Let's see if it's actually switching. There it is. So I'll check on you guys in a second to make sure that you guys can see it. But I'm pretty sure you guys can see it because I'm looking at my screen share and it's saying everybody can see it. So hopefully not a big black screen right now. But this is the key to Solomon, the keys of Solomon, and these are just different designs of it. You understand? Different understandings of different nations, different people, and what they think the key of Solomon is. You know, and this is important for y'all to see. This is just the key is once again a seal. Now let me show you the rings of Solomon. The seal of Solomon ring. One moment. And, oh yeah, yeah. All right. So look, as you can clearly see, this is all the same type symbols, seals, as you can see. The seals are for different powers of different levels of demons. You understand? It keeps them there. They can go nowhere else. They could go nowhere else. And these different inscriptions and writings you're seeing are the words or the symbols needed to keep them quelled and powerless. Essentially, by destroying the ring in a certain way, you would be able to destroy these demons. So they were literally at his disposal because they were at his will. And if he had the knowledge of how to properly dispose of the ring without releasing the seals or breaking the seals, then Solomon could have effectively killed many demons if he had chose to. 1 second, go back. See what I'm saying? You know, it's just different variants of this stuff. A bunch of different variants, and I just needed y'all to see it before I show my big head again. 1 second. Bam. So Now we're going to pick up. Um, where are we going to go to? I don't know how else to put it, man. I mean, like this dude's ring. If y'all didn't see that shit, like is like cause for evil, you know. Yes, Solomon is worshipped by Gnostics. Solomon is known as the he's like the original Grandmaster Gnostic. Um, they praised this dude. BGS IB Moore was telling me about how they like looked up to this guy in Gnostic circles, and then out of my own curiosity, I just look and I look into things, and it's just funny that they try to say that Paul is the first Gnostic, but that's impossible. It's impossible. If you actually look at how Solomon thought, he practiced blood sacrifice, fire sacrifice. He practiced all that stuff. Nothing was off the table for him. So, but just trying to explain the seal of Solomon is complicated. It was like a barrier device that held great powers, you know, and demon arc, if you will. Um, and if you once again, we're going to go back to the greatest hoax, and I'm going to upload that again so you guys can see that. One moment. And share. Boom, bang. So we're going to look at this one more time. And it says, look, right here. We're going to skip past all this stuff. The 72 Sanhedrin are also the 72 proper names of daemons who are sealed in the key of Solomon. Stop right there. That means that whatever Solomon's key is, it houses demons. And how we know it still holds and houses them is because they spoke in present tense of the forces that be, the people that be, who are known as Kabbalists, to seeking to conjure these forces and these beings to this day. Right here. So first you got to put together a talisman. So that you can summon or conjure them. And the reason why they put together a talisman, because the talisman have the seals of the specific demon. The last thing you want to do is summon something into the realm that you can't banish out. Now, I know this doesn't seem like it's a huge deal. When I say that's a huge deal, huge deal. So I'm going to go back to this right here again. So long as y'all can see it, then it's all good. One second. Where it says right here, young Solomon is the damn master of demons. Now, what are the chances, odds, probability that some of those daemons are some of the same things that he was worshiping to, or that he was told not to go after by the Most High? What are the chances, y'all? Think about it for a second. Think about that for a second. Really take that in. Really consider that. What are the chances that young Solomon is as a master of demons? Because there's no way you're going to tell me. There's no way in your logical mind you can say that this dude had a master of demons and nobody else did. He was just that smart. He was just that fucking he just had it that going on, but yet the Most High had to send. Anyway, he had to be warned twice not to go after other deities. And I just read to you how in his old age, his heart wasn't right with the Most High. So this is just something for you to really consider and really ponder is like, at what level and point in his life, first off, did he actually go astray? And then number two, right? What tangible gains did he have where in which he was like going back or doing the right thing? I'm not doing that. It might not seem like a big deal right now, but it's actually a very big deal. Um, um, yeah, I mean, man, this is just one of those ones, and I really actually do enjoy the question from Sister Adrian Smith, because I had did a little video, like I said, about Cyrus Schofield a long time ago, and that was just talking about the rapture, and I didn't really get off into the whole Seal of Solomon, the Keys of Solomon, and all that stuff. But it's the same thing. A key does what? It unlocks something. What is a seal? It's normally a barrier from something. So you have to unlock the seal. So in order to use the keys of Solomon, you would have to know what the seals are that correspond to the keys. This is why the knowledge, the esoteric knowledge, the Gnostic knowledge is so sought after by these people. Because if done properly, effectively, whatever it is that you seek, you could probably gain. So why rappers, actors, scientists, all of them alike who have a Gnostic way of thinking, they, once again, a real Gnostic person doesn't believe in anything. They believe in themselves. You really have to understand what Paul was talking about. He was preaching self-empowerment the whole time. That's the cornerstone to a true Gnostic person, is that they're going to tell you that you have the power. Whereas a real believer will tell you that the Most High is everything, and that without him, you're nothing. So it's awkward that you have those kind of contradicting views from the so-called same faith. There's no logic in that manner. Like that form of thinking actually holds no weight. Because once again, now you're asking people to say that a guy who had the ability to control demons, I'll pull the stuff up again just so that way, there's no misunderstanding. He had control. They believe or they know this, that he had control of demons through these keys, through these seals. Now it tells you that they're the name of daemons. Yet they try to they try to associate daemons to the Most High, to the Tetragrammaton, and nobody finds that to be suspect or crazy. Once again, this is why the Most High is like, I have to get all those names out of people's mouths, because they're saying that I'm him and he's me, and he's like, that's not the case. But apparently right now, so it is the case in the mind of a layman. We are all laymen. So if I was told this before I had any kind of understanding, I would be either forced to believe or forced to capitulate at that point in time that maybe these daemons are the names of the Most High for real. Even though I know now in my mind that there's there's no way that I could even distort that kind of information. I couldn't even tell. And saying that just then was like hurtful, So the fact that a man who's known to be the wisest man ever wasn't wise enough to know to only follow after the Most High, and is now associated with demons. Thousands of years after his death. Thousands of years after his death, he's associated with demons. And nobody finds that awkward. What up, bro? What up? So, and just to pull this back up again, because I really have to, I can't stress this enough. 1 second. Just look at this. And pretty sure I put the link to this website in the little super chat thing already. 1 second. But check it out. I mean, some people don't think that's a huge deal. That is huge. There's a reason. Look, look. These guys so-called revealed heavenly mysteries to the king, right? Oh, he was there of great service during the erection of the temple. Listen to this. Let's look. It once happened that a malicious spirit snatched away money and fruit from one of the king's favorite pages. This occurred several times, and Solomon was not able to lay hold on the malefactor. The king besought God's fervent. The king besought God fervently to deliver the wicked spirit into his hands. His prayer was granted. The archangel Michael appeared to him and gave him a small ring having the seal consisting of an engraved stone, and said to him, "Take, O Solomon, son of David, the gift of which the Lord God, the highest Zebaoth, has sent unto thee." Where is any of this shit at, y'all? Where is any of this at? This has to be Kabbalah Talmud fuckery. I have never seen that in the Bible. Nowhere. This is what I'm talking about. You have people who have a whole another understanding of what you understand. And it's totally different. Look at this. Orneus, the vampire spirit who had maltreated Solomon's servant, the first demon to appear, was set to task of cutting stones near the temple. Listen, man. Listen. This is I want to read it, but it's like I just found this stuff today. I only got to look at it a couple times before you guys. I'm still so pissy because this fucking piece of shit right here is praised by people. Praised. Look at this. Do you guys know who Asmodeus is? Asmodeus is written down. He's in the book of Tobit. Okay. He's the one who Raphael, another one of the top angels, has to bind. Okay. So just understand that all this shit is so deep. It is all so deep. It is all so big. And it's like, it all makes sense to me why Solomon got the end game treatment that he did. It all makes sense. All of it. It's just too much. Male and female demons running around doing God knows what. And this is why I'm always saying what I say to people. You know, there's no right way or wrong way to come about it. You know. I mean, people can say whatever they want to say, but like, it's right there. I just showed you. I just showed you. But none of these things are ever written about Solomon within Scripture. So it should be on everybody's mind. Where do they get this stuff from? Where are they coming with this shit from? You know, I know it's not a big deal to people, but once again, when you have groups of people who don't associate with any kind of faith, understand this: they associate with no kind of faith, Yet they will use the teachings of a man like Solomon. They bring this kind of stuff up all the time. All the time. All the time they bring this kind of stuff up. And it's upsetting because what do you do as a person who's trying to show people like, look, man, this guy that you're saying is a hero is not a hero. He's the exact opposite of a hero. He's this freaking zero. And because, once again, it's just easier for people to say, well, no, King Solomon had to have been a good guy because he was anointed and God found favor with him. God found favor with King Saul before he didn't find favor with him. Right. But King Saul didn't get the warning like Solomon got. Once again, Solomon's birth, people have to really understand, you know, when it speaks on Urias, you know, the Hittite, and it speaks on the dirty dealings that that King David had in that situation. People have to remember that Solomon could have been born to David of any one of his other wives, realistically speaking. So the fact that David went out of his way, Solomon is no less a child of adultery than the first child that died. He's still the child of adultery. I can't think of the exact, if it's in Ecclesiasticus or the Book of Wisdom or where it's at, but it's like, it's something to the effect of children of adulterers never come into their full potential or will not come into their full potential. You know what I mean? They never blossom all the way. You know, so think about all the people that you've ever met in your life who you're like, man, that dude is so talented. But when you find out the real story of how they got here, right, you're kind of like, well, that's kind of foul. But who are you to say anything? You know, who are you to judge that or to give merit to that? Because that's not your place. But that person's here. They exist. They live. So Solomon was in no different of a situation. And the difference is, I can't stress this enough. Absalom, his elder brother who was killed by Joab's men, all of it is ironic because if Amnon, the eldest son of David, doesn't rape Tamar, the sister of Absalom, you could argue that Solomon never becomes the king. When I say it's highly conceivable, it's very conceivable. It's, oh my goodness, I can't stress it. King Solomon became the king because most of the people that were ahead of him on the throne were wiped out. You see what I'm saying? And they were effectively taken out of power when Absalom did what he did because they were too afraid. So because Solomon, once again, favored by the Most High, because of his situation that he was born into, the Most High is so amazing because he didn't hold it against Solomon that he was the child of adultery. And in fact, he blessed him in spite of. All Solomon had to do was be righteous and 100. He wasn't righteous or 100, okay? Because if he was, it would say, when it speaks pretty much ultimately on the kings and on the men, it would say that Solomon did that which was good in the sight of the Lord. And it doesn't say that. It only says that about a handful of kings throughout the entire Kings. Throughout the entire thing of the Kings, there's only a handful of kings that are all mentioned to being righteous. And once again, this is important because you talk about a ring that a man's wearing on his hand that's controlling demons, possibly controlling demons. These same demons, I'm sure, I know y'all don't want to hear this. I know y'all don't want to hear this. A catalyst to some of his worldly wisdom, I'm sure, came from those demons. Positive. I'm positive of it. The wisdom he was given before was not the same wisdom that Solomon had when he left the earth. It's not. The same wisdom that the Most High gave him is not the same corrupted knowledge that he was given by demons and fallen ones. It's not. It's not. Otherwise, his heart could have never left the Most High. It would be impossible. It's impossible. If you love the Most High, right, and you know what you're doing is wrong, eventually you correct yourself. If you truly love him, if you don't love him and you just talk like that, then you're never going to do anything. And this is one of those situations where not once but twice it says, the Lord, I'm going to assume that this is the Messiah, or this is once again one of the highest ranking spirits there is, who came and talked to Solomon, was like, dude, don't go after other gods. I'm sure a part of this dude going after other gods is him dealing with this ring and these seals. The Kaaba, or whatever the hell they call that big ass cube over there, Kabbalah and all that stuff. When you look up Kaaba and Kabbalah, when you actually look at it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And you have a guy who, once again, he's exonerated from all of his wrongdoing because people believe that he is so wise that he just did nothing. People believe based on the merit of wisdom alone, he did nothing wrong. Yeah, well, I mean, you can say that, but until people are given all that and more, that they know that the children of the Most High, then they don't know anything, because in the scripture it says that there's going to be strangers who are higher above than the people who are actually the people. So, I mean, if you're talking to me and you're saying that to me, I want to be somebody who makes it in the end. I don't so much care about being the Israelite guy if it means I make it. If it means I'm just the stranger or the sojourner, the hewer of wood, the draw of water, if that's what I am, dog, that's what I am. You see what I'm saying? But I'd rather make it. There's too many people who are too worried about, once again, that they want to be an Israelite, but they don't realize that 2/3 of these people they're leaving and not coming back, bro. And then the third that's left over, they're going to be purged too. So I'm just saying, they're not pretending to be anything. They were raised in America. So they are Americans. Yes, they are. If you read the scripture, and I'm not saying that you don't, there are instances where in which a person was born in a particular land that makes them of that lineage. If I asked you right now, what is Abraham? I guarantee you give me the wrong answer. I guarantee it. But I'm not going to ask you what he is. I'm going to tell you what he is. Abraham is Chaldean. Not only is he Chaldean by nationality, but he's also Chaldean by ethnicity. So with that said, boss, does that make him any less of the Hebrew that he was when he crossed over the great rivers Euphrates? Did that make Lot any less a Hebrew? His father, Sarah, Melka, or anybody else who came? Nakor, his brother, did that make any of them less Hebrew when they crossed the river just because they were Chaldeans? And Chaldeans were still known about and talked about throughout the scripture? No, it does not. They're still Chaldeans, dog. Okay? Thank you very much. So the people that you're talking about are Americans. They were born here. Whether or not they identify with being Americans is a whole other thing. But they are an American because that is the accepted title of this landmass that we live on. American is the accepted title of the people that live on the landmass, who are citizens of that land, this said land, the spoken on land. So if you live here and you were born here, like myself, even though I don't identify as being American or being a pro-American, I am still American by nationality. If I have to tell people what I am, I'm American. Even though I know I grow an afro and the beard and I don't look like the other Americans. But however, my point is this, is that people worship a guy like King Solomon as if he's not worthy of their admonishment, as if he's not worthy of their crucial critique. And you know what? They should be able to say, King Solomon was wise, but as wise as he was, he should have known better. Okay. So with all that said, bro, how you gonna die for the Most High? But you have to be right about what you're doing. You can't sacrifice yourself for something like that. That's not wise. It's not wise. I understand what you're saying, bro. I get you. But all I'm saying is this, though, brother or sister. We're here for a reason. We're not here because our ancestors were in perfect unison with the Most High God of everything. That's not why we're, bro, that is not why we're here. Sister, that is not why we're here. We're here because of the exact opposite. So when people can come to terms that they're here to be punished, they're not here to come up. They're not here because they're so damn righteous that they deserve to be born in the so-called greatest country that ever lived. No, 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 no. You're here because you're among the worst of the heathen, the most wicked of the heathen. That's what this is, dog. You're here to be treated bad by them until you realize you can't help yourself. But if you commingle and congeal with people who believe that by voting on policy, they can change things, by incorporating better community standards, they can change things, by policing who people sleep with. And I'm not talking about outside of their race, I'm talking about inside of their race. By policing with who and how many people sleep with, they think that they're going to fix it like that because these people have all these ideas. Not one of them involve, not one of their ideas involve total, total submission to doing nothing but asking for help from the Most High. They've never done it. They've never done it. Black people, I would pick up rocks, tear my clothes, and throw rocks at the motherfucker that would lie to me and say that black people have all gotten together on one accord and just prayed that the Most High just come and rescue them. That's never happened. It'll never happen because you have people who don't even believe that the Most High is real, but yet they believe in policy, dog. Yet they believe in taxes, right? So you see the ass backwardness of the notions that we're dealing with here. So if they're not Americans, what are they? Because they don't think that they're Israelites either. So when you say stuff like that, you have to realize that you're dealing with somebody who I don't need you to tell me who I am. You feel me? Because if you watch my videos, you'll understand that I believe at bare minimum, I'm a child of the Most High. Bare minimum. Bare minimum. Do I believe that I'm one of these people? Yeah, I would like to think that. I like to think that I look a lot like some of the people that I see in these pictures sometimes. But I also understand that I might not be the people. I could just very well be somebody who's from one of the related nations who just has understanding. Right. So you can't make more out of it than what it is. You see what I'm saying? If you don't realize, recognize, understand, and appreciate Noah's sons were and are triplets, making genetically the black people that you see who all look similar on earth, the ones who are actually related, similar like people, this is why. Once again, though, to get that carried away is to talk about something that doesn't even matter because we're talking about a guy, King Solomon, who, no offense, maybe up until now, you thought he was a good dude. But I'm telling you, he's not. I'm telling you, King Solomon is the epitome of a piece of garbage. You talk about a coon in the Bible, you talk about a living coon in the Bible. King Solomon is a prime example of a coon ass nigga. And don't nobody want to hear that. But it's okay though, because I'm here to tell you that. I deliver all kinds of bad news. I deliver all kinds of bad news. I'm not afraid about telling you no bad news about beloved King Solomon and his trash ass. I have no qualms, none. Why should I feel bad? Yes, Martin, the ultimate. Yet people think I'm tripping, think I'm stupid. I don't know where to begin. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where to begin with this stuff. How do you tell people once again that this guy was controlling demons? If any part of what they're saying is true, that demons helped build the temple, why should you feel bad that the temple went down in the first place? Hey, somebody get this guy out of here. However, how? How do you feel bad that the temple went down? Huh? If it was built per se, maybe even some of the most complex pieces were done by demons. Huh? How do you feel bad? Why would you feel bad? There's no reason to feel bad. I'm just saying. Then when they built the second temple, that was an abomination, so called. So there's no reason to feel bad for that temple going down either. Once again, if King Solomon was in perfect unison with the Most High, I think I might feel some type of way, but he wasn't. But he wasn't. He was anything but that. And you guys have to accept that King Solomon was not a good dude at all by any stretch of the imagination. None. Yeah, if the Most High decided to destroy all of us, no offense, I'm pretty sure it says somewhere in the scripture, the Most High's like, who's gonna who's who's gonna swell up on me? I'm gonna give it to you so that way you understand. Who's gonna swell up on me for smashing on the wicked? Right. It doesn't even make sense, dog. I don't blame him for nothing. There's nothing to blame him for. I thank him for everything that I have, everything that I don't have, everything that I will have, everything that I shouldn't have, that he won't get, all of it. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. The dead that are in the ground can't thank the Most High. I don't even, I'm not even sure if that even bothers you, if that even really hits you. But let me repeat myself. The dead that are in the grave can't do what I just did and just say all glory and thanks to the Most High. You follow me? Can you dig that? Because that's where I'm at. No matter what I can do or what I can't do. You said it already. To die for the Most High would be an honor anyway. So if he came back and smashed on all of us, that's his cause. It's an honor. It's an honor to get smashed on by the Most High himself. Does it suck? Oh, I'm sure. Still an honor. That is why they say that. That is why they say that. That is why they say that. But mind that fact, though. Mind that fact, because look what happened. Look what happened. So, and people get mad. This is the truth. Show me where Solomon is a good guy. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see where he's a good guy. You know, where he's really not just a piece of shit. I really do want to see it. Because I know it doesn't exist. I know it's not real. I appreciate you, my people, for congealing with me in this effort. See, what we're talking about gives you the ability to say, fuck somebody in their high education. Fuck you and your PhD. You see what I'm saying? Your masters and all that. And I'm not saying forget nobody who's got that here. I'm not trying to talk down to you. But I'm saying that if you use that as the reason why you're above somebody, or that's the reason why it is that you have something, then I have to look at you with the side eye, because the first people that I know about that had skills, I know nothing of them being literate. Let me say that to you again. I know nothing of them being literate. The tribe of Judah, who was blessed with the ability of understanding and workmanship, and the tribe of Dan. I know nothing of those two tribes being literate, being made to be literate. I know nothing of a man who knows how to fix cars. He doesn't have to know how to read anything. If he knows how to fix the part, if he knows what he's doing, if he understands the mechanism, there's no need to read anything. There's no need to comprehend on that level, because he comprehends on the most tangible level, which is the functional level, the practical level. So, once again, where does a person get that kind of understanding from? Where does one get that I need high education, or I need furthered education to be bolstered up to where in which what I say is to be taken serious? That's nonsense. It's nonsense, and it's fruitless, because with all the wisdom that one could hope for to have, the man was not wise enough. Listen, the man was not wise enough to stay with the Most High. I believe that, sister, but that's what I'm saying, though. You don't have to know how to read to be skilled. Skills don't require literacy. You know, I seen a video the other day. I ain't gonna give nobody no shine, but a guy was talking about, did people trade education for skills, right? And I've been said this. I said this a long time ago. You know what I mean? The Israelites that people know of, those guys did not know how to read. This is why it was a big deal that the Messiah could read. It was a huge deal that he could read. But they were all still skilled craftsmen. They weren't like, oh, he could build a house. They weren't like, oh, he's a skilled carpenter. They're like, oh, this nigga can read. And they were more surprised because these are people who've known him his whole life. They're like, bro, there's no way he had time to learn how to read. There's no way. It's impossible. So when you have that kind of mentality, when you have that all that happening, one has to accept that literacy is, in fact, an overrated, much overrated, much overutilized waste of time that most people shouldn't be invested in. The priests were to read the laws to the people. That was their only job. And to take money for sacrifice and to take animals for sacrifice, blah, 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 blah. But do you get what I'm saying, though? It was cut in stone. The priest would have been the most literate, functionable tribe out of all the tribes. Hands down, bar none. Until there were kings, the only reason why a guy like Joshua was probably able to read, more than likely because he's from the tribe of Ephraim, and he's an Ephrathite. That makes him some kind of Egyptian kind of descendancy. That means that his stay in Egypt might have been easier than the tribes that weren't incorporated under Joseph. So that means that until you get to the kings, you could argue, because I can't think of a time where the judges read the laws to the people. I have to go and look for it. I don't remember the judges reading to anybody. So does anybody not get what I'm saying? Like, who needs to know how to read to whoop somebody's ass? Where do they do that at? You know, like it's just so asinine, that thought. But this is what we're focused on right now, because we have to understand that these people believe that this same wisdom that saved did in the end, it did nothing for Solomon. It did nothing for him. All the wisdom in the world did nothing for him. So what does that mean, y'all? Should Solomon have prayed to have been faithful to the Most High instead? Right. So this is one of those things where you can say whatever you want to say, but obedience is better than sacrifice. This is where these kind of understandings come from. Because, yeah, King Solomon had the ability to sacrifice 1,000 bulls. Thousands and thousands and thousands of them. Yeah, you can do that because you're the king, and everybody who's a farmer and a herder is going to bring all their stuff to you. People are like, well, what about the fact that Israel grew and waxed stronger under the period of Solomon than any other? Dude, his dad's armies and all the people before his father fought giants off. They killed off all these nations. They murked them all out. And by then, the Israelites' reputation for being fierce warriors was so robust that nobody wanted none. So once again, people don't respect the storyline that they're reading from, because they can't even put the stuff in the basic understanding of how would that play out in my life today. Yet they want you to take them serious. You see what I'm saying? No, and I'm not having it. You know, I'm just not having it. I'm just not having it. You know, what are we gonna do, y'all? What are we gonna do? Do we say, I'm not gonna deal with black people who think they're so educated and think they're so damn smart and think they're so this and so that? Because I've been called an uppity nigga a bunch of times in my life. And when I have no college education, I need y'all to understand this. I have no college education. None. None. Okay. So to call me uppity, you would be so far, you get what I'm saying? You would be out of your mind, because I don't have any of the uppity things that make people uppity. I just know a couple words, understand a few things, that'll make me uppity. But this is my point, though, is that Solomon was an uppity nigga, coon ass nigga. And look what it did for him in the end. All that, I could sacrifice 1,000 bulls to the Most High right now. Watch me. All that sacrifice did nothing for you. Didn't even make a wrinkle of a difference. And this is what people don't get, is that we're dealing in a time where would you capitulate just because somebody had the ability to make demons manifest out of a ring? Would you? And I want y'all to be honest with me. Tell me in the comment section, would you capitulate? Would you give in because you've seen some shit like that? Or would you be like, man, I'm praying to the Most High, this motherfucker drops dead tonight, right now? Because that's the difference. You had people back then who folded for this dude. Folded for him. Hand over fist. And now their children's children many different generations removed. Now look at us. We look stupid as ever. We look stupid as ever. Do we not? No. Because if we didn't look stupid as ever, and if people had any idea of who they were, all these people wouldn't be running around like they know what the fuck they're talking about and look stupid while they're talking about it. Let me tell you one of the funniest things I heard somebody say the other day. Dude was talking about appearance, right? And I say, yeah, that's kind of important. And he's like, no, it's really important. Now he shaves his face, he cuts his hair. Then I make fun of him, right? I say, do they treat you any better because you shave? he got pissy, but it's just one of those things. You see what I'm saying? So with all that wisdom, do they treat you any better? No. With all the so-called doodads, do they treat you any better? No. One moment. Well, our purpose is to call on him, to have him come crush on these people, and then we worship the Most High. Seeing that the original plan was ruined and we can't go back to that, worshiping the Most High will just have to do, bruh. Because he didn't create you. He didn't create this planet initially for him to be worshipped. Right. Right. That's not a mandate for the first man, nor is that a mandate for Adam, nor is that a mandate for Noah and his children when they get off the boat, dog. Please. Our purpose is to worship. Only good thing we can do now. I'm just saying, man. I mean, am I supposed to feel bad because black people are lost and they betrayed the Most High? And this is why we're at where we're at. Am I supposed to feel bad for that? Am I supposed to get sad for that? I get sad, but I'm not going to stay sad for that. No, I'm not going to, bro. I'm sorry, dog. I got way too much going on. You got way too much. People have lives they're living to be sad about. What is our purpose? Cry out to the Most High. Pray you don't have to go down and be dead in the dirt and waiting for him to wake your ass up again. That's what you do. That should be your ultimate purpose. Making sure that if you make babies, that you're a part of their lives. All these dudes out here, I heard the craziest shit last night on the hangout. We were telling guys, just go out there and have kids, even if you can't take care of them, even if you don't get to see them. Well, I don't think our purpose ever changed, sister. I just think that the purpose of human beings when they first started was not to worship the Most High. That's not the, once again, unless my Bible is different from everybody else's, I don't read about deity worship until way after the flood, until way after Abraham. I'm just saying. I might be wrong, but I don't read about deity worship for a long time. For a long time. So deity worship of the Most High was not the initial purpose that he intended for us. I have a hard time believing that. I really do believe we were just meant to live on this planet and to live in perfect harmony with the planet. But when forces that were not made to live on the planet forever, I'll say gently, combined forces with those that were meant to live forever on the planet, it created a beast and a monstrosity that would destroy itself. But once again, we are now living way out thousands and thousands of years after all these things have happened. So we're no longer able to say, well, we just want to live and we just want to eat fruit and run around and be naked or whatever. No, that's our purpose now is to have discipline. And that discipline is to worship the Most High and the Most High only, to only fear the Most High, the creator of all things. Blessed be He. Some people are not afraid of the Most High. They have no fear of Him. When I say they don't fear Him at all, they're not, totally not afraid. Israel was like the sands of the sea. Was like the sands of the sea. Can't be like the sands of the sea and the Most High say to you that my people are few. The only time we were the sands of the sea was under the reign of this dirty bastard right here, dog. I told you that earlier. Under the reign of Solomon, did the Israelites wax so strongly? Because there was peace round about. Now I know you're like, where's that in the Bible? Go read, man. Read it. Read it. And then tell me something. Because that's where I'm at, bro. You notice I'm not picking up a Bible to go back and forth. This is just stuff that I remember. So once again, I ain't no scholar. Not in these people's world. I ain't no scholar. I ain't no college degree holder. I don't have none of those pedigrees. All I have is the fact that I will remember what I read when I know I need to remember it, and what is important, I will never forget. I know it's important to fear the Most High, so I'll never forget that. I know it's important to love my brother, man, and my sister, woman, the man child and the woman child. So therefore, I do that and I practice these things. Discipline is not found by not practicing it. Show y'all something. And boom. One second. So look at this search one time. Seal of a ring. Just so you know, I am not trying to pull no wool-esky over your eyes. What are you looking at, y'all? The very front of a ring. That's the seal. Okay. The seal. The seal. Understand? The seal of it. Can you dig? I have no need, y'all, to make this stuff up. None. There's no need for me to make it up. Why would I lie about this? So what you're looking at right now, right? Imagine these little rivets you're seeing. Each one was a word, right? Let's say each one of these rivets was a word needed to keep this ultimately powerful demon inside of you. And as long as you wore the ring, whoever wore it could control whatever forces were to be locked within here. Now, let's say you had the ability to trap inside of this any force or being that was of a lesser might. Then you could trap essentially as many things as you wanted to, as the ring itself would house. So there's no telling if it was just actually 72 daemons or if there was actually more that he had control of. You know, Grave pictures. Once again, this is the seal of it. Can't stress it enough. Even on this one. And these are nice rings too. Do you see what I'm saying? So when I go to something like the Key of Solomon, and then I go back to the seal of a ring, I want y'all to understand that the key and the seal are just names that they're using interchangeably. Because a key does what? Unlock something. A seal is essentially what? Right, the barrier. So it's ironic language at best. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. There's but you just have to realize though, there's people who hate the Most High. Have you ever pondered that? Tribe Issachar? There's people who hate him. They literally hate the Most High. And they have no problem telling you that they hate him. So, because you have people like that, you have to really be aware of what's going on. I could argue that King Solomon hated the Most High. A person would be hard, when I say hard pressed to show me that he didn't hate the Most High. Because as far as I'm concerned right now at this point, he hated him. Excuse me. Not exactly, bro. More like I mean, you could say something like that, but it's different though, still. Because he's not summoning objects. This nigga is summoning demons who are fully capable, you know. And when you talk about some of the most powerful demons there are, the most powerful demons there are being under this dude's control, it's not a good thing. Because once again, when that's not written down somewhere where you can verify it within the scripture, you know that's one of those things that the people who wrote, transliterated the Bible, whatever, they didn't want you to know about that. Because they wrote the story and the narrative the way that they want to write it. So out of all the people that actually existed way back in the day, they chose our heroes for us. They chose everything. See what I'm saying? They chose everybody that we look up to. They chose all that stuff. Sure, they didn't change everything around, but when they picked to write about certain guys, like for example, the way that they talk about Joab, the captain of the host, you don't get a negative impression about Joab. You see what I mean? Like he's not written and talked about negatively. You know, the one time where King David, you know, absolves himself of any wrongdoing, you don't get the feeling that he really condemned Joab because he didn't sentence him to death. So it's like, I don't know. There's just a lot of different ways to look at it. But I want to talk about some other stuff before I roll on out real quick. And I just want you guys to be aware of this stuff. And this is totally, we're done with the Bible for a second. I'm gonna give you about another 20 minutes of my time. Totally off kill, off subject. And hopefully, man, you guys can take this stuff with you. Because at the end of the day, this is what matters. You can't make anyone believe what it is that can't be proven. So where it is, I can't prove that there's a Most High. What up, JP Hope? What up? Where I can't prove that there's a Most High, I know there is. I know it. I know it. Beyond what I feel, I believe, what I think. I know this. I know this. It's a sensation that embraces me. Just like I know the sun is gonna rise tomorrow. I know the Most High is real. So we can't try to push on the people things that don't have evidence where there's already grounds for these things. Like King Solomon, for a prime example. It says in the Bible he's wicked. It's it says this about the dude. Let me pull it up and find it for you real quick. Because a lot of people will try to say, "Oh no, Solomon was a good guy. Solomon was an excellent man," right? But surely, once again, you can't be an excellent man and be wrong, because I mean, you just can't. It just doesn't. It just doesn't go. It just doesn't go well. I'm gonna read this part right here to you. Verse 9 out of chapter 16. It's going something like this. And the Lord was angry with Solomon because he turned away his heart from the Lord God of Israel, who appeared twice to him and charged him concerning this matter. By no means to go after other gods, but to take heed to do what the Lord God commanded him. Neither was his heart perfect with the Lord, according to David his father. And the Lord said to Solomon, because it has been thus with thee, and thou hast not kept my commandments and my ordinances, which I commanded thee, I will surely rend thy kingdom out of thy hand and give it to thy servant. Only in thy days I will not do it for David thy father's sake, but I will take it out of the hand of thy son. Only will I not take the whole kingdom. I will give one tribe to thy son for David my servant's sake, and for the sake of Jerusalem, for the city which I have chosen. So, need y'all to understand, right there, he kind of breaks down, yo, look, pimp, you have not been 1,000. I don't know what you thought. I don't know what you thinking you did, but you know what I'm saying? I don't want to sound foul. You know what I mean? Uh, uh, he's just not a good dude. He's just not a good dude. You know. Let me look it up real quick, and I'm gonna find it real fast because I know it's right here. I'm just not seeing the words. 1 second. Wicked. They get mad at me. I try to go all in on King Solomon. I don't know why. You know, they try to make it to where it's so hard to find these guys. You know what I'm saying? It's so hard to find. In the sight of the Lord. They actually make you like type all this stuff in. One moment. Not Jeroboam. There we go. Holy shit. So 3 Kings chapter 11, verse 9. Let me see. I was just reading that. And that's not where it's at. Let me see. One moment. First Kings. That would be Third Kings here. I don't know why I'm not finding it, so I know I'm right there. Like it's because I'm reading it right here on the internet. Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord. I mean, that's just on the internet, and it says that's First Kings chapter 11, verse 9. But that would be Third Kings. I'm thinking, okay, it's verse 8. Here we go. Oh, wow. Listen to this shit, y'all. I'm looking at it right now. I'm gonna try my best to show you. I'm gonna try my best to show you. Every once in a while, it does this in the Septuagint, and I'm just so glad that it's one of these things. So check this out. Every once in a while, right? You'll be reading it, and it'll switch the verses up on you. As is right now, it goes from verse 3 to verse 7 to verse 5 to verse 8 to verse 6 to verse 9, and then 10 on up, right? But let's just read verse 6. Let's read 5 and then 6. No, because that doesn't even make sense. This is what I'm talking about. This shit is so crazy. Anyway, verse 6, chapter 11, Third Kings. And Solomon did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. He went not after the Lord as David his father. Stop right there. They hung you by the neck. You gave them soul food. They used your babies for alligator bait. You gave them long green and Marvin Gaye. Who's you? Who's you? Because I'm still alive. And I know I'm not Marvin Gaye or Al Green's daddy. Can you dig it? And before a white man ever hung a black man, I could read to you right now. I can read to you right now while I have this book open about people being hung in the Bible, in the Old Testimony. Neither were they, dog. They weren't made to do evil either. I don't think you understand the prognosis of the situation. They did what they were supposed to do. We were sent here to be punished. We've been punished. They haven't fucking let us go. That is the wrongness of their activity. They haven't let us go. I'm not going to condemn them for doing exactly what they were supposed to do. Also, the Most High didn't tell his people that I'm going to let another man fuck your wife and take all the shit that you build and kidnap your babies. No, bro. I'm trying to get you to see what you're going through. You deserve it. All the bad shit I go through, I deserve it. It doesn't mean that I did it to deserve it. It means that because I was born this way, it means that because my people did what they did against the Most High, I deserve it. I'm getting my comeuppance. So while my granddaddy and grandmama roll over in their graves for all the fucked up things that they did, I'm getting my comeuppance because of them. So all those bad things that have ever happened to you, you're wondering, why me, God? Why me? He's like, actually has nothing to do with you. Has to do with your great grandmother. Has to do with your great grandfather. I'm sorry. But I'm in full effect until the third and fourth generation. So that full effect into the third and fourth generation is exactly what it is, boss. That's exactly what it is. You don't get to ice skate uphill. Yep, hand-me-down ass whoopings, everything. Everything. I didn't say it was fair. I said it's what you deserved. You know why I deserve it, just like you deserve it? Because many moons ago, when people actually had a chance to do something right, they didn't. So this is what we deserve. This is what we deserve. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to feel that way. I know that's what it is, dog. You're getting your comeuppance. You're getting your comeuppance. Right. You know it is. You know it's the truth. Everybody trying to ice skate uphill, baby. And then they wonder why they fall down and break their face. Their teeth fall out and shit. They wonder why. Look, man, I don't have time to keep telling people that unless they care about themselves, no one cares about them. No one. What up? What up? How y'all doing? But you know, there is no easy way. There is no easy way in. You know, the Most High has made it simple. The rules are simple, dog. The rules are simple. Follow the rules. There's a good chance you'll see the kingdom. Even if you have to die, don't be afraid to die, bro. Just don't live a bad life, and then you won't feel like that. I'm glad y'all good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Because when you live that messed up life, right? Then you're at the mercy of mercy. I don't want to be at the mercy of mercy. No. Hell no. I'm trying to be in the good graces of mercy, where mercy owes me a favor. You understand? Can you dig that? That's where I'm trying to be, where mercy owes Demetrius Antoine Jones a favor, not needing mercy from mercy. So that's the difference in the mentality, is that I know whatever my ancestors have done is wrong, and I accept it. I accept their evils. They're now my evils. Their sins are now my sins. And I accept that and I live with that as a man. I don't do anything else. I don't try to make it to where, oh, this is all somebody else's fault and now I'm just fucked. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You got people who sit around every day like cowards, afraid to fight for themselves. And they wonder why they turn 70 and nothing ever changed for the good in their life ever. If you have the ability to get your people to think positive, you think positive. You see what I'm saying? When you think positive, you're going to get positive. You think negative, even if negative doesn't happen right away, it'll eventually manifest. And thank you, sister. Thank you. You know, it's good for us to make investments. You know, it's good for us to make investments. But one can't be lacking in a department that is needed. You know, one has to be strong, stalwart, all that good stuff. But people don't, they don't want to suffer, and they want everything to come their way. And that's not how this life works. We don't get to choose those circumstances. So for a person to be like, oh, well, they cut your ancestors' babies out of her I fucking know that. But you know how many of those so-called women were willingly sucking and fucking slavers? Right. So the fact that something evil and wicked happened to a person who thought that by playing go along to get along, or get along to go along. Now they're in the ultimate worst position they could ever have thought to be in. It's not my fault or my problem. Not my fault or my problem. No, you're absolutely right, sister. You're absolutely right. Enduring the suffering is not easy, but losing is not an option. No, most definitely. The big L is not an option. But you have a lot of people who've already taken the spiritual L because they have no faith. They believe that they're going to pick themselves up. And you guys will probably have to go back later and like rewatch the video because the Seal of Solomon, I talk about that pretty in depth for like the first like hour and a half, maybe longer. You know, I jump around to a couple different things. I'll kind of sort of go back to it, but at this point, you know, we're just talking, and it's just crazy because here we are once again, though, as people, we don't have a chance to go back and say, "Oh, Father, send me back 1,000 years ago, and I promise, I'll do better for all of our people." Because what happens if the Most High sends you back 1,000 years ago, and you're like, "Oh shit, it's popping." All of a sudden, you're not even invested into your mission no more, right? So he's like, "What's the good of sending you somewhere where you're not ready? What's the good? It does no good. It changes nothing then." Once again, one second. It's okay, bro. That's all right. That's all right. Look, just like your family blows you off and pays you no never mind, somebody came in here. I could be the most obscure cat on YouTube, and somebody took it upon themselves. And once again, I know I got into the souls and everything of whoever because they thumbs down the video, and they're probably still watching. They're probably still listening right now. You see what I'm saying? So you can't be mad at your family for deferring to what they know, because whoever thumbs down the video deferred to what they knew. That was their mentality of saying, "I know how I'm going to get at them." But it's like, you don't bother me by me seeing that whatever I said struck a chord so hard that on a live stream you don't have to be watching at all. You thumbs down it, right? Because I bothered you, because I got into that soul. So it's okay, bro. You're getting into their souls. They're not ignoring you. They're not just buzzing you off, because every time you're right, you know what they say? Whatever your real name is there, Tribe Issachar, North Kingdom, they always say, "Damn, so-and-so did say that to me last week." But it's too late for them. They can't change it now. See what I'm saying? It's too late to change. You follow me? Because they've already said what they've said. You know, nobody who's probably here right now taking what I'm saying serious has a super strong relationship with their entire family unit. There may be specific individuals that they can commingle and congeal with and that they deal with, but I'm quite sure that there's nobody listening right now, who actually has a strong relationship with their family. So don't feel bad. You're welcome here, because we're all the same, just like that, bro. There's nothing to feel bad about. You don't need to shame yourself for your family not wanting to fuck with you for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to shame yourself for you being different. Stop shaming yourself. You know what I'm saying? because at the end of the day, bruh, what's gonna happen is this: is that for everybody who thinks you're crazy, for everybody who doesn't think you know anything, they're going to eventually be sitting there like, damn, this nigga was right. And they can only pray that it's not in a day, bro, of great tribulation. They can only pray, bro, that it's not in a day where they actually need you. Let me say something, man, about my personal life real quick. I've never heard of this ever happening to nobody. I told everybody last week, when I was going through it. I was arrested, all right, and released from jail with no paperwork. Listen, dog, no paperwork. I ain't never heard of no shit like that. If that ain't some 1962 fuckery, I don't know what it is. But if I allow that situation to be the situation that pushed me over the edge, and I was pissed off, trust and believe, I'm still pissed off. But if I allowed that to be what made me say, you know what, fuck it all, I wouldn't be able to do this right now. And I love everybody that I talk to far more than I hate these cops. Right on? More than I fear the Most High, I love him. I tell you all this all the time. I fear him, but my love for him is far greater than my fear. So I would hurt you out of my love for the Most High before I hurt you out of my fear for him. You understand that? That's the difference in my mentality. You need to get there in your mentality. That's an important place to be. You need to fear and love him. And I fear him more than I respect him, but I love him more than than either one of those. That's right, bro. And what they do does not change biblical prophecy. Changes nothing. It changes nothing. And it will change nothing. But you have to have that mentality. And this is what I'm saying, man, is that like, I might have a class action lawsuit. I've steadily tried to find ways to not have a class action lawsuit. But the more it looks, the more this stuff starts to shape up, the more I'm like, damn, I might have a class action lawsuit. Holy shit. Where even I'm a little perturbed by the situation, because it's not supposed to be like this. I was never supposed to have had my guns taken away from me, my license, nothing. None of this is supposed to ever happen. But the fact that it has to be rectified somewhere. It's like that whole little race war thing that they always like to talk about. They're like, people can feel it on the horizon type stuff. Like something has to happen. Can't nothing happen from what's happened from me, No, you're right, bro. JP Hope, you're absolutely right, man. But he tells us though, man, the son is going to be against the father. You know what I mean? The daughter against the mother, the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law. Not yet. Not yet. There's gonna be some litigation, because they might try to keep the stuff while I'm trying to prove that they did something wrong. So we'll see how all of this stuff works out. We'll see how how it goes. But I'm just saying, from a standpoint of a brother who is as lowly and obscure as they come, I'm one of the only ones who go through the kind of shit that I go through. These dudes don't go through this because they're not really out there. You feel me? My job is to deal with people on the street. So there's no building that protects me, that gives people a different way of thinking. Like they're like, oh, I walked into a building, I better act right. There's none of that. They're outside. So they never snap from outside mode to inside mode. They're in outside mode the whole time, you know. And when you have jobs like that, stuff happens. But anyway, it's just one of those things where you're right now, you're getting to see and deal with black people, bro, who I don't think any of us are rich. I could be wrong. One of these cats could be a silent millionaire or something like that. But I don't think nobody here is rich, bro. So you're just getting to see regular black people. These are regular black people who are just intelligent, who have their own minds, you know, and they can think for themselves. Um, um, just in case you haven't noticed, you know, there's a married couple here, you know, and their motivation. They are motivation for us all in more ways than one. And people don't realize that you know that to pay homage to what another person does, right, is not a bad thing. You know, to say they're doing a good job is never a bad thing. That's a good thing for you to do. To be able to acknowledge another person's righteous ways is a good thing about you. Even because even the evil people know that there are righteous people. They're not so confused that they don't think that there's no good people on the earth. They're not stupid. So all I'm saying is that, like, you as a person who has the chance and the ability every day to affect lives, to make it to where people love you and appreciate you, do that. You know, don't be a detriment on people. Don't be hard on people because it's no good. You know, I pray every day that the Most High comes back. I pray every day that things change, that people's hearts change, that their minds change, their souls change. I pray every day that people want to stop eating pork and all kinds of dirty animals. I pray every day that people wake up and say, hey, you know what? If all of us just decided that we're not going to work today, it would change everything. Put shit on freeze. But the fact is that people don't have that mentality as a collective. If I don't go to work tomorrow or whatever, that doesn't hurt nothing. That just hurts me. But if 1 million people, 2 million people, 10 million people decided that they weren't going to go to work tomorrow, that would be huge. You see what I'm saying? And because we never have enough people who understand that it takes more than one person. This is not an individual effort. This is a group effort, you know, on every level. And this is why you, once again, you give people the proper credence. You give them love and you show them love. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the times what will happen is you'll have somebody who it's like they want to tell you that you're doing a good job, and then people get afraid of telling you that you're doing a good job. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then people get afraid to tell you doing a good job because they don't want you to stop doing a good job. But they don't realize that you're about to stop doing a good job because nobody's told you you're doing a good job. So I love to tell people, hey man, keep up the good work. You're doing an excellent job. Even when people piss me off, I'm talking about when I am pissed off, I still tell people positive things. And I tell them in a tone where unless you know me, and I mean actually know me, you wouldn't be able to tell that I'm even agitated. And this is a part of being able to do what you can do for people. You know, one of the biggest problems with, I would say, most Black people, in particular Black men, is they have a hard time giving kudos and props to another brother. They have such a hard time doing that because they've been told that, oh, man, if you say that this brother's doing a good job or whatever, right? Then your woman or whoever is gonna side with this character. Where it's like that's not how it goes. You know, if you're a freaking astrophysicist and you're watching football and a guy makes a spectacular catch, you're no less the astrophysicist because you said that's a really good catch. You see what I'm saying? So you're no less the man to acknowledge an ability or a skill set of another individual, be it a man or a woman. That's another big thing with some guys is that they have a hard time giving chicks any kind of credit. You're absolutely right, sister. Insecurity is a horrible stronghold, but it's a powerful one. It's a powerful one, and that's where we're at, because we're juggling with people's egos, and then we're juggling with our own satisfaction. And like I told y'all, you can't compromise on these levels. It's impossible. It's unsafe. Um, One of the worst things that people do when they're grouped up like that, once again, especially black men, is that while they don't want to speak up for another brother, they want people to vouch for them. So it's like you can't have it both ways. You see what I'm saying? You can't not speak up for people, but then you want people to vouch for you. You see, and I watched this live stream earlier. Dudes talking about staying on code and what is staying on code and this, that, and the other. And it's like, each individual is different. Each person has their own set of core values, regardless of who raised them. There's people who are raised in the same households who have totally different core values. So because that's the case, you can't assume that because this person is rolling with you, they're your friend, they're your boy, that their core values are the same. Okay? You might have similar principalities, but if their core values are not yours, and you couldn't know that because you're not them, then all you have, once again, is cooperation. You know what I'm saying? Give me one moment. Oh, okay. So when you say that, dog, where do you end that though? You see what I'm saying? When you say these people have a slavery type mentality, what kind of mentality are they supposed to have? Because when they weren't slaves anymore and they were able to go start their own businesses, many of the businesses were burnt down. Many of the men were chased out of towns, had their wives stolen from them, fathered children that weren't their own children by men of a whole other race. You see what I'm saying? So which part of that is the slave mentality of understanding that no matter what I do, they're always going to try to hold me down, right? Because all these guys who say, oh, that's a victim's mentality. So because you saying that is like saying that you want people to forget about slavery. Which one is it, dog? Are they supposed to remember slavery or not? You see what I'm saying? You don't get both ways. You can't freaking have it both ways. You get one way. You get either my people were slaves and I understand that. So their mentality is going to be one of a subservient person, a docilated person. Every once in a while, one of these guys won't be like that. One of these gals won't be like that. But if they're broken, if they get broken, and it's not hard to get broken, they'll be back in line with the rest of them. So this is why I say, are you against the mentality or are you against the history? Because there's other people who come from other countries who were slaves where they were from, but they don't have any of the horror stories that you do. As bad as they might have been treated in the country that they're from, The fact that there's hope today, they have hope that slaves never had. Oh, of course, sister. Of course. Of course. But once again, though, brother, did the Most High say, none shall buy you? Won't nobody free you? Can you dig it, bro? Nobody's going to pay your ransom, dog. So you can be mad. I can be mad. We all can be pissy. But at the end of the day, it boils down to accepting what it is that we're facing. See, a lot of these guys don't realize they're barreling down a gun, and on the other end of this gun is not who they think it is. So they think they're trying to. You can't topple someone that the Most High put above you. Do you understand that? These people will be talking about white supremacy for another 1,000 years if they think they're going to change it. They're not changing nothing. They're changing nothing. The Most High didn't ask for his people to ask for help back because they didn't need help. They need help. And they're in a bad place. They're in a really bad place. I just don't know how else to look at it. You know, it's like I could be a sucker, or I could just tell my, you know what I'm saying? Or I could say, you know what? I'm I don't know, man. It's just the whole situation is hurtful. Cause I know what it is. Yeah, our people were slaves. Yeah, they did us wrong as fuck. They still do us wrong as fuck. When, where, when is the Most High gonna get back? I don't know. I know some people are on their last legs of hearing, stay strong, bro. You gotta just persevere. They've endured all that they can endure, persevered all that they can persevere. They've suffered all that they can suffer. And they're on their last legs. All I can do is pray for them, that the Most High would touch their hearts and their souls, and give them that extra bit of strength to carry on for a little bit further, so that way maybe in a day's time or 2 days' time they feel differently, their soul feels differently, and all the things that they do are different in effect. I am one man. I'm not a good man or a bad man. I'm just a man. I've done all that I can do. People got sad earlier. I said that we're getting what we deserve. If you don't think that you deserve this, then you don't deserve to have an afro. You don't deserve to have brown skin. You don't deserve that, because you were born with a chance that these people will never have. You were born with a type of soul constitution these people will never have. An opportunity of more than a lifetime. An opportunity of forever, of an eternity. You know. Well, thank y'all for tuning in and kicking it with a lowly brother. I appreciate it. We make it because we have to, and they made it because they have to, because they had to. Excuse me. The slaves look forward to one day being free. We look forward to the same thing. See, this witchcraft and this technology has made it to where no one really sees that they're in danger. That's right, bro. You can't blame these people, bro. If you're gonna blame them, that's like saying that white people were around when King David decided to have Urias murdered, right? Essentially, he murdered Urias and stole his wife, got her pregnant, had one baby. That baby died, and then had Solomon. Yes, this is just crazy. We are. We're trying to make it. We're trying to live, y'all. I said a long time ago I had like 20 minutes left. I need to hurry up and get off all this. Get something to eat. Figure it all out. I don't know what I'm doing. Now I'm just talking. I don't, and I'm there. I've I've hit my apex. I feel good about sharing what I've shared with y'all. I think of one thing. I thought about this all week. The Seal of Solomon. I thought about that all week. You know, and so it's really because Sister Adrian Smith had brought it up, and then I cannot stand Solomon. Can't stand that guy. So it was easy for me to just want to just talk about his sorry ass. I when I say I almost hate Solomon, almost hate him. Not a good dude to me. Anybody that was, well, first off, called evil in the sight of the Lord, obviously not good. But he just not a good dude. Period. I checked out the first one, but I didn't get to check out the other one, bro. Uh, I'm impartial to those kind of videos. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff that I've seen before, so I try not to watch a bunch of things that I've either already seen or I've already heard. Especially if I don't readily agree, and I know I'm not going to agree for my own reasons. But I'm working my way back to Middle Earth. I think I did a really good job on this last video. I got to do some. I got to do a bunch of short 5-minute choppers. But those Windows Media projects, those things take forever to do because you have to stop, save them, re-upload another one. It's just a bunch of shit. Anyway, I don't know what to think. I don't know what to do. Um, I think I'm about to just call it a night. You know, cash it in. Uh, uh, I don't know what else to say. You know, 1 second. So look, Solomon has his own book. I'm gonna be looking for it one of these days, the real one, because I think sometimes people forget that, like, even Akab or Ahab, when it talks about him, it says and Ahab and all his mighty deeds, are these not written in the Chronicles of the Kings, in the books of the Chronicles of the Kings? I think that's funny. No, no, no. Y'all just gotta. It's like maybe like an hour. It's maybe like an hour. Y'all gotta like watch. I think y'all got here like halfway in. You know, but I just I don't know. I just get kind of sad because we don't have a chance. I'm praying for y'all too. I'm praying for everybody, man. I love y'all so much. I really do. This is like more than therapy, more than all that stuff. You know, it's it's this is a big part of my life. Really big part of my life. And man, I just pray that the Most High would just come as soon as He can, do something for us, show up and just show out. That would be. Y'all just have no idea. I'm I'm all money in, no money out on the Most High. We got to win. So it's the only option. Got to. As you said, Miss Smith, can't take no L on this one. I salute you guys. I appreciate y'all. You have a blessed week. I'm gonna try to figure out my projects, all these different little things I'm doing. Well, I know we're gonna pray for each other, but once again, pray for your boy. So I pray for y'all and just continue to ask the Most High to come get us. Peace.